From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. As always, Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out Podcast. Catch them every Tuesday for trivia and Thursday for bingo night. I got this Cryotron cold IPA. It's a decent IPA. I mean, I'm not a big IPA guy, but this I do like.
Yeah, I haven't got my shipment, so wouldn't have the new one, Bob. Wouldn't have the new one, buddy. So I wouldn't be able to try a new one, though. The old ones are just as delicious and cool and refreshing as ever. Okay, I don't want to. I'm not hating. Okay, I'm not. But I'm having just a Burrow Blonde. So
nice. Very nice, very nice. How are you this week, bud?
Doing good, man. Had a good time at your mom's neighborhood Halloween party. Had a decent little time there. Just sports. Got some house stuff done. Yesterday a little bit, so that was good. But yeah, just kind of pushing through this year. This time of year is I love this time of year. It's so uneventful because all I'm doing like most of the time is just like watching football all day, like all my free time. I just like watch 14 hours of football on a weekend. And that's amazing to me. That's a really, really good weekend, but the stories, they just don't flow. I can't be like, oh yeah, we just talk about what happened on the TV. I mean, we do that throughout the show. So I can't do that in the how you doing this week? What about you, bro? How you doing, man?
Good, man. I had a lot of fun at the Halloween party, like you already said. Watched a bunch of football, played some games. Got some chores done. I did a little work on the truck, so got some vehicle maintenance done. Overall, just a decent week. I was gonna do a fit check, but it seems like we're just kind of wearing our everyday clothes. I got a Smashville hat on.
Well, yeah, the API. That's the Alabama Polytechnical Institute. That is what Auburn was before it was Auburn. So, I mean, nice. Bro, I'm a hat guy. I can't remember if I've ever worn this before, but I'm a hat guy.
I honestly don't know because the way this app works is your screen is very blurry to me. So all I see is a gray hat.
Well, it just says
I can't even see the logo.
It just says I'm a hat guy. It's no logo. It
okay.
Says that.
So you were just I thought you were just saying you're a hat guy. I was like, all right, yeah, cool. I mean, we both are. But it.
You keep saying it. You keep saying it, Brandon. But tell me what's on the hat.
Yeah.
No. My cousin. Excuse me. My brother. I told him, hey, he said, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, I don't know, bro. I'm a hat guy, so hats are great.
That's a perfect
so he
gift,
got me, dude. It was the best gift ever. It was literally
that is an amazing gift.
Open it up and it says. And it's a hat that says I'm a hat guy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's high level thinking. I'm into it. Yeah. I'm into it. That's a good gift.
Yeah. Steph, I know you got me a car, but this hat wins.
Yeah. Stephanie, your presents are garbage compared to this hat. It was so thoughtful.
And a quick segue. I don't want to say if you are the kind of person that buys a car for someone for a Christmas or any gift without them knowing, that's a bad gift. Yeah, you just bought someone a huge responsibility and a huge tax liability without them talking to them about it.
Yeah,
especially if you're a person's significant other.
We are married, so we would both incur the same type of penalties to it. But we're making fun of Stephanie, and she's the one that got me the juror number 10 hat, which is by far the greatest gift that I've ever gotten because it implies that I've been on a jury. But she could have done better. She could have foresaw that I was going to be the foreman. Yeah, she could have saw that I was going to got two. And then if I never was the foreman, she could have just thrown the other one out, and that would have been and she can probably hear me, which is the best part about
Yeah.
this right
Or
now.
she gets
So,
like 12 and then just returns all the ones that whichever one you know.
one through. Well, see, it's technically she would have had to get 14 because the alternates sit through the trial as well.
Yeah.
So like 1 through 14 juror. Well, but I was locked in to my juror seat. So I was always number 10, no question.
She actually has a collection, and in that collection is also one that says defendant on it, just in case. You never know.
She was for doctor, the doctor on the other side of the medical malpractice case. Hey, I mean, it's a trial. You got to have a rooting interest. Everybody knows, no lives are at stake or anything. Obviously, it's not. It's a game, Bob. That's the way they told us to treat it. They said this is like a game of sorry, or trouble.
Yeah.
Done with the fit check.
juror stand up.
Yeah, done with the fit. Done with the fit check. Now we've moving right on.
Everyone knows what we're about. By now, they know what's happening.
We loosely put bolded titles on our page to kind of guide us through.
Yeah, there's a reason they're not bold and underlined. If they're bold and underlined, you got to stick to it.
Well, that's the hot and cold down below, as you'll see. They're bolded and underlined.
Yeah. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon and Twitch, where you can find us. Now we're gaming together every once in a while, playing some Star Wars and playing some Battlefront, killing it over there.
Probably going to be more only killing it. We're not getting beat by all these level 700s that have never stopped playing. But some Overwatch for sure. I think Battlefront might be even being out, bro. I've been having a lot of fun on Overwatch too. So come.
Yeah, I think when we get done recording, I'm gonna jump on some Overwatch too. I don't know if Brandon will be joining me.
I'll play a little.
We can get some, and grind a little bit. But all right. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon as well to support the show and get all the bits a day early. Let's head straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
Okay, Phil.
I'm getting text messages. I'm in trouble.
Phil Kessel ties the Iron Man streak in the NHL at 989, currently held by Keith Yandel. Tonight, as of recording on Tuesday, he will break that and become the leader when he plays game 990. ESPN, more specifically, Greg Wyshynski of ESPN has a very good article where he collected a bunch of stories, funny stories, family stories about Phil Kessel from players, teammates, coaches. The player that the players have dubbed the league's Forrest Gump, which I don't. Is that a compliment to be called anything's Forrest Gump? I don't know if that's a compliment or not, to be honest.
Especially when in football. I mean, my man's was All-American. So yeah. I mean, but realistically, anything but probably intelligence level, right? I mean, he was a war hero. Like he met like 4 presidents. Like I know you hate Forrest Gump, but his life was amazing. You hate for everybody. I just want to throw it out there.
No.
Bobby
You're thinking of Robin Williams. I hate Robin Williams. I've never seen Forrest Gump, so I don't have an opinion on it.
You've never seen it, so that's hatred.
Never seen it. Okay? Very different thing.
That's pure hatred.
I am agnostic towards Bobby. I am agnostic towards Forrest Gump.
You hate what you don't know. Okay, you just oh my gosh. You're just this is it, guys. I know we've had this fight before, but I can't have it again. I'm done. I'm out.
But yeah, so that's a huge accomplishment. Coming up on 1,000 games. That really is a testament to a sport that is, and we're going to talk about it a little bit when we get to outside the NHL as well. We're going to be talking about some records and stuff. So it kind of flows directly into that. But Cal Ripken's record is something that is completely unbreakable and such a great, just one of those things. But hockey is a different game than baseball. You are getting actively hit all the time, and for a guy that survives off hot dogs. I mean, honestly, this really, who's really loving this is Nathan's Hot Dogs. They are loving this streak.
There was an article where they're talking to him about his longevity and how he's been able to stay. And I didn't read the article, but in the headline it was like he was like, I don't drink water ever. Like that's been the key to maintaining that physique that he has.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. That is a rough and tumble sport. If Cal Ripken's wasn't so ridiculously
Yeah.
outlandish, I would say, but 162 games a season for 2,632 consecutive games from Cal Ripken is a pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And I think everyone wants to talk about when they talk about Kyrie Irving, they want to talk about his health and longevity. I think it speaks, yes, the ability to stay healthy, but honestly, in a sport where hot and cold streaks are so prevalent in players, being able to stay as a starter for that many games is more important to me than how healthy he was, because I mean, how many games did we see people get pulled? I mean, especially in his older years. I mean, he could have easily gotten pulled.
Ripken was that's also the difference to me. Was Ripken was great outside. Not that Phil Kessel and Keith Yandle aren't great hockey players, but they're not making anybody's all-time list. Okay. I mean, Cal Ripken's going to be a shortstop, third baseman in a lot of people's all-time teams type of deal, so that would be the bigger difference to me, is that he was also a superstar besides just being
two questions
the Iron
here.
Man.
I have two questions for you. Does Phil Kessel make your top 100 list?
No, not even. I can't.
I agree. I agree. Does Phil Kessel earn a spot in the Hall of Fame?
I think that's a possibility. I don't think
because
I don't think Hall of Fame, and I think we kind of run
isn't always equivalent to skill.
There's not a line. You know what I'm saying? You can be a Hall of Famer in so many numerous ways.
Exactly. 100% agree. Yeah.
The first guy into the Hockey Hall of Fame probably has garbage stats compared to third and fourth liners now in hockey, but that's irrelevant, right? Because what that person did was above and beyond what anybody had done. So I don't think the two are relevant of being in my top 100 and being a Hall of Fame player. Do I think he's a first ballot? No. I think he's a guy that slips in towards the end of his opportunity to get in there. But you also can't turn down playing 1,000 games in a row, and with stats too. I mean, it's not like Phil Kessel is a nothing. I mean, I'm not saying that he just because he doesn't crack my top 100 doesn't mean he's not been a prolific hockey player with on top of his games played and his relevant stats, a Stanley Cup winner, a multiple cup winner, right? Am I correct in that? He's won at least two with the Pens.
Yeah. Didn't
he might have been there for all three?
Did Pittsburgh? Yeah, I think he was there for. I'm almost certain he was there for all three. I don't hold me to that.
I knew he was there. So yeah, I think that Phil Kessel is a Hall of Famer. I think Phil Kessel is a Hall of Famer. I don't, but I don't think it's a first ballot. I can't. I'm gonna look up. I don't know that Cal Ripken, if he was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, he had to have been.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think Phil Kessel 100%. Sorry, I was looking up the first ever NHL Hall of Famers. And it's going back to 1946 is very hard, because there's a guy named Hobie Baker who was the only forward in the 1946 class, which was the first class I took him. His career statistics, he had 1, 2, 3, they counted 4 years of high school, 1 year of Princeton freshman of his year at Princeton. Then I'm guessing he went to war.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, dude deserves to be in the Hall of Fame right there. Stop it.
He was. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the reason his stats kind of abruptly ended was he went to war in World War I, and he received orders to return to the United States and leave the war. He was reluctant and decided to disobey orders and stay in the war.
A lot of them did that. Yeah. I mean, they were like,
he decided to take a final flight of his squad. He decided to steal a plane from his squadron's airfield and went for his own. And he decided to claim the plane for his own. What? I'm sorry. I think we need to bring back the most interesting people. This is insane. He was like,
This guy.
I'm just going to take this plane.
They're like, look, we know this is the Hockey Hall of Fame, but did you hear the plane story?
The best part about this is he wasn't a pilot. A few hundred yards from the airfield, his plane crashed nose first into the ground.
That's
this story does
ridiculous.
not end well. This is in the death portion of his Wikipedia. Okay.
Okay.
I was like, where is this going?
Really,
and then
just
I looked
looking
up
for
and saw. Anyway, so we'll move on to. Go ahead.
Well, I did want to say, so I was looking up Ripken. I mean, two AL MVPs, 19 All-Star games, 1695 RBIs, 3,184 hits, 603 doubles, and 431 home runs. Yeah, I would say that's why it was so impressive from Ripken. Is that, I mean, he was just doing it as a winner and a superstar.
Yeah.
Throughout.
I mean, I'm looking at Phil Kessel's career statistics, NHL totals. Not almost 1,000 points, 956 points, so just under a point per game, pretty much for his career. He has over 1,200 total games played of 1,204. 399 goals, so he's about to hit that 400 club. I mean,
yeah.
He has 3 Olympic gold medals, all playing for the U.S. I mean, he has,
and it's probably Hockey Hall of Fame, right? So
yeah.
So it'll probably include all of his, what he's done. So yeah, Hall of Fame, no question.
And 3 All-Star games,
but not top 100.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move into outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
All right. There are some referees under investigation from the NFL after making what can only be seen as the stupidest thing of the week. Asking for Mike Evans' autograph immediately after the game while they are still in uniform. While Mike Evans is still in uniform. I mean, why did they think this was okay? How hard is it to just go change real quick and then go to the locker room and knock the locker room door? I mean, you're a ref.
It's and besides the fact that honestly, that's the way to get around the rule, and sneak out and do it again. But realistically, you shouldn't even be talking to these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, this should be, you can be friendly on the field. Like, it's just a bad look for the NFL.
Yeah.
And
I'm not a fan of when players and refs cut it up on the field and they kind of make jokes back into each other. Like, I get being cordial and, I don't know. I guess when I was playing college rugby, like, I was an adult. I was an adult at the time. I'm not saying I know what it feels like to be a professional athlete, but I was a 22-year-old. These refs were in their late 20s, their early 30s. I'd call them sir, and I would. I mean, if I had to talk to them, I'd say ref or sir. I'd say ref, sir, and it's like I wouldn't cut it up. Like I wouldn't cut it up with them, and that to me that's weird. It is weird. Like it's weird when I see like in the pregame like refs and players kind of joking around. I've seen things of Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I'm going to be fair here. Say, you're going to give me some calls today, and kind of laugh at them. They're like, haha, we'll see what happens. And it's like, I don't like that. If I'm the ref, I'm saying, no, I'm going to call it fair. It's my job.
And it's
like,
elite. It's a group that has had its fair share of issues and problems. They implemented the pass interference, the pass interference review. And they on purpose bombed that. They did it poorly. They wouldn't change their own calls. They wouldn't do. I mean, this is an extremely, extremely bad look. I mean, this is way worse than what Calvin Ridley did. Betting on other teams and other games. And hey, should he do that? No, bro. No, absolutely not. Should he be suspended?
No.
Should he be suspended? Yeah, probably. But like, an indefinite suspension for that when he's betting on something that, like, you and I could do.
Yeah.
The refs control the game. They can change the entire game with one bad call or one good call, so I hope that it comes out that this referee will never ref ever again, and like they
Two refs.
investigate.
It was two refs.
Yeah, these referees never ref again, and they investigate every game that they've refed, that they get financial statements and text messages and everything, and they take this extremely seriously. Just like the NBA did with Tim Donaghy, I think that's his name, the ref that was essentially point shaving. So we will see.
Yeah.
And all of this, and Mike Evans is a great football player, no doubt. But all of this for Mike Evans autograph, like that seems
after a loss.
Seems after a really bad game where he dropped a 75-yard touchdown bomb, to potentially change the game.
That one hurt because I have Mike Evans in a league, and when that happened, that was one of those moments in fantasy football where you just it ruins your day because it happens so early in the day at the noon kickoff where you're just like, oh, it's one of those days. It's gonna be one of those days, and then
it's like you don't want to walk away.
That was kind of an indictment of the entire Tampa Bay offense that day. I truly think that if he had made that catch, I think that would have been a completely different game. I think that killed their momentum.
Yeah, so just a bad look overall. Interested to see what happens from the NFL.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and call
nothing.
It.
Yeah,
those refs get I'm going to say those refs get fined $2,000. They don't
no playoff games.
Ref any no playoff games, and that's it.
Yeah, that's.
I hope they at least. I hope they do like a real punishment and then a petty punishment of like you're not allowed to ref another Tampa game ever. Or you're never allowed to ref another Mike Evans game, no matter where he plays.
That would destroy them. They'd be like, no,
I do wonder though how often these refs ask. I wonder how often refs ask for autographs that's not videotaped. This honestly, that's what I want to know. Like we know this because it was videotaped.
I would have to say, depends on the ref.
I think a lot.
Maybe those new school guys, but dude, you telling me you think Ed Hockley didn't think he was that the players should be asking for his autograph? You know what I'm saying? Like Ed Hockley did not strike me as
it's funny that
guy.
You bring up Ed Hockley. So there was a story because when I was reading on Reddit, there was a story about Ed Hockley, but he did it in the right way. It was during the offseason. He went to an actual official training camp with his kid. And he used his name Ed Hockley to kind of get passes or whatever, and was like, obviously not in uniform. He went up to, I think at the time it was Joe Flacco, is what they said, and he said, "Hey, my son's a huge fan. Can we please get your autograph, and can I get one for my daughter as well?" And so he did it. That's the right way of doing it. You go on your off duty
Joe
and like
Flacco's autograph. You know what I'm saying? That's just your kids getting Joe Flacco's autograph, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
And like these refs are still people. I'm not saying they can't be like they should be fans of the game. This is their life. Like they can be fans of the game. I have no problem with them getting autographs. It's the fact that it's right then and there after the game and they're in uniform.
The story checks out because nobody would tell a lie about getting Joe Flacco's autograph. You know what
I'm saying? All right, anyway, so outside the NHL, ESPN officially names Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing yards, as a Commander fan, it's hard, as an unbreakable record. The current active leader is technically Adrian Peterson with 14,000 yards. Believe I wrote down a bunch of other yards. I think Emmitt Smith's record is about 18,000 and change. He broke the record, I believe, at 16,000, and then he continued for another 2.5 years and got 18,000.
I think 18.5 is standing like out that. In my head. 18.9.
Yeah,
I'll look that up real quick.
I remember that year, and Adrian Peterson was so close to that 2,000 mark that I had him in fantasy, and I wanted it. I wanted it so bad. But there is a decent sized list of records that ESPN deems unbreakable. I don't know what their algorithm is for now deciding this is the year that they decided Emmitt Smith. Maybe it's amount of time since it's broken. Maybe
The
I don't know,
game's
20 years. Maybe.
Well, it's more likely the game changes. It changes to the point where
especially now
this
with
particular stat is
yeah.
not.
And I
feasible.
think anyone who plays fantasy football knows that running backs, while still, in my opinion, the most important position on a team, is not as important as it was 6 years ago. That there are so many split
I
shares
think
between running backs now that
I,
the disparity between the first 3 running backs taken and everyone else is so far. The gap is far.
I halfway agree with what you're saying there. Running back is an extremely important position. It's still as important as it was 6 years ago. The difference is that it's not one guy's job anymore. It's not you don't have a running back. Some teams have a running back, but those are
And
like you
that
said,
guy
those are 6 to 8 guys in this league that are dominant forces that are going to be able to that would have been able to be professional in any sport they decided to be. They just decided to play football and play running back. And so I agree, but the problem is there's never going to be anybody, even your workhorses, that their longevity's not there. 18,000 yards is unfeasible for anybody now coming into the game. The game has changed now. But it's like saying, we have quarterbacks now that are passing for ridiculous numbers, bigger than Marino, and there are quarterbacks that you wouldn't even sniff in the off season and try to bring into your team. So it's just a different game now. Would be my thought on it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, and I actually sent you a picture of it a while ago. I think it was 2012. How much the game has changed. Think about the running backs in 2012. And just, I mean, like on the one team, I had Arian Foster and Jamal Charles. I mean,
every team had a single run. They featured a running back. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't.
If you had Arian Foster and Jamal Charles now, they would be different running backs because it would be like Arian Foster and maybe and someone like Arian Foster's snaps would get cut in half. And I mean, and Arian Foster was nowhere near the record. Yeah.
Yeah, good for those guys, but yeah, I mean, it's not. It's a different ball game. So yeah, I would consider. I would concur an unbreakable record.
Do you think that there was I mean, obviously, Adrian Peterson's career is not, and he's not getting another 4,000 yards. I think 14,000 yards is a more than respectable number for running back. That is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean,
okay.
Adrian Peterson is a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time running backs, and he is still 4,000 shy of this record.
18,355 is the number. So.
Yeah. That is insane.
Right up there.
Yeah.
It's right up there.
What is and obviously I know he's far off. What is Derrick Henry's numbers right now? Because he is one of the few true RB1s in this league.
Yeah.
And if he stays healthy, I mean, he's not. He's not getting there.
Whole season off though. Started.
Yeah. Oh no, I know he's not getting. I'm just curious as where he is because obviously Derrick Henry is many consider probably the best running back in the league right now, and and he's going to be far off from that number. I think also Emmitt Smith stayed healthy. I'm sure he had some injuries, but we see just this past week, in my opinion, I thought he could have been the next Adrian Peterson, and Breece Hall is now out for the season with an ACL injury. Yeah, I mean, with a running back, you are you are at the whim of injuries at that position. It's as much luck as it is skill.
Luck of the draw for sure. We have a total though of 7,333 yards on 1,500.
And he joined the league in what, 2015, 2016?
2016. Yeah, but he didn't play first year behind DeMarco Murray, and then split time in 2017. and then really got the job in 2018. So 1, 2, 3,
Marker
4,
Murray's a name I
5,
haven't heard in a long
6.
time.
He's in his 7th year in the league, but playing about, he missed most of last season, half of last season, but only started 2 games in 2017 and 16. So
yeah.
But I mean,
You know what?
still
I'm looking at this. You know what's
slew
a
away.
weird stat I would love to look up is running backs who played, let's say, more than 5 yards to get a good sample size, a decent sample size. Who averaged the longest run? Because I'm looking here of Derrick Henry's longest run of the years. Obviously, you have 2018 with a 99 yarder. Then you've got 74 yards in 19. In 2020, a 94. In 2021, you got a 76. And this year, we're only 4 games in. He's at 24 yards. But I mean, Derrick Henry. I mean, those are some long runs, man.
Dude,
I
I
would
was
love to
there.
see
I was there. I was there for 238 and 4. I got to see him run the length of the field on that 99-yard run, and I mean, it's just otherworldly. He just gets going. I mean, he's 6'3", but he just flies, man.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
different to watch. I mean, again, he'll never get close. He'll never even scratch the surface. He may get to 10,000, but I mean, I don't think that he's even gonna come in that realm.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Real quick. Yeah. So we're gonna go through this list, and I on the list was also the current leader, but I didn't. That's a lot. Jerry Rice, 22,895 receiving yards. I believe that the closest person is I saw his name earlier. With the Falcons, I think, or was with the Falcons.
Julio Jones? No, it can't be.
I think it's Julio. I need to
Maybe?
look it up again. It might have been. Here we go. I can pull up the article right here. But let me scroll down. This is a different article apparently, which is kind of annoying.
While you're doing that, I can go through.
Julio. Yeah, active leader is Julio Jones with 13,406.
Okay.
So we'll just keep this up.
Again, not going to happen.
No.
They have
Wayne Gretzky with 1,963 career assists. We're going to talk about his points. But as far as ESPN, this list, they have his assists in there. The active leader is Sidney Crosby with 899.
Yeah, not happening. He's been playing a bit. I don't think he's getting 1,100 more assists in his career. It just, doesn't look feasible, even if he has a good year or two.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you take the next one and we can go back and forth.
For sure. Cy Young, and not just the award, the actual guy, 749 complete games. Not ever happening again. First of all, most guys don't, throw complete games at all, much less 749 of them. I would imagine it was a different time. They didn't have a big relief staff in his day, so he just went out there and rocked it. What do we got next, buddy?
The active leader, I don't know if you have the thing up. The active leader is Adam Wainwright with 28, so a little bit off. The next up is let's see. I put it a little bit out of order. But the Boston Celtics with 8 straight NBA titles, just something so unfathomable to think about. The active leader is Golden State Warriors. I mean,
it's
how
a different game.
Winning one NBA title is hard. Shaq. Yeah, Shaq and Kobe managed 3 straight. The Warriors almost did it 4 times in a row, and then
I mean, even thinking about it,
the Heat did back to back. But
Michael, even if you forget the 2 years that the Rockets won it when he wasn't playing, and you said, okay, he had 6 in a row, he's still 2 off. He still would have to have won it 2 more years in that, and would not have even really had the record. It's ridiculous. Wilt Chamberlain,
and I mean they had Bill Russell, which just an absolute legend. But yeah, go ahead with Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain, 50.4 points per game in a single season. Yeah, man, it's just not happening. I mean, you got Ja putting up prolific numbers, ridiculous high numbers. Russell Westbrook has done it at times where he's put up just such ridiculous numbers. It's just it's not feasible. I mean, now everybody else is also
Yeah,
tall.
it's a different game.
Everybody else also tall.
Yeah,
Like Wilt was the only tall guy.
Yeah, so the active leader is James Harden, who has 36.1 points per game in 2018-2019. Obviously, Wilt Chamberlain scored a 100-point game, but just to put him next to one of the all-time greats, one probably top 3 in many people's lists, Kobe Bryant, who was a prolific scorer. Kobe Bryant had 10 50-plus point games in the 06-07 campaign. In 61-62, Wilt had 45 50-plus point games, 15 60-plus point games, and 3 70-point-plus games. And, of course, the one in which he scored 100 points. And unless it's a 4-point shot, I still don't think they're going to.
Yeah, unless you flip a coin on any given day, the man was going to give you 50 points. Like, this wasn't because of some statistical anomaly where he scored 3,000 one game. Like, he was averaging. Like, oh, he had a weak game. He only got us 40. But tomorrow night, he's going to get us 60. Okay, so.
Yeah. Imagine getting the second pick in the fantasy basketball league then, because if you have the second through any other pick, you're not winning because the first guy's getting Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah. Like, he's winning fantasy leagues solely.
I'm gonna get unless you only play with no Wilt, or you play in categories leagues where whenever you're playing Wilt, you're punting points. Okay, I'm gonna lose points. I've got that. That's no big deal. I'm gonna win 3-point percentage though. No worries.
Yeah. All right. Simone Biles, 19 world gymnastic gold medals, one of the greatest athletes of all time. The active leader is Simone Biles because she's still active.
She is still rocking.
To give you a sense of how far away Biles is from her competition, the next most decorated gymnast in terms of world gold medals is Svetlana Korkina. She has 9.
And nobody even celebrates her because she ain't American. All right, look. Nobody cares about you, Svetlana. All right.
Yeah. And no one else after that even has 2. So I mean, that's that is pretty much a unreachable goal.
And that one is one that I'm not sure. Like, I don't really know the world landscape of Simone Biles. Simone Biles has done this over the last few Olympics. So
yeah.
Wow, ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, and outlandish. I don't know how unbreakable this is because we've seen it done recently, so maybe it's more of a terms of, hey, the sport is changing in ways that I don't know. But obviously we talked about Cal Ripken, 2,632 straight games played. So since we've already done that, I'll move on to Michael Phelps, 28 Olympic medals. Pretty ridiculous, but again, goes back to the same
I do quickly
thing.
want to add in that the active leader. I do really quickly want to add in that the active leader is Matt Olson with 296 consecutive games played in the MLB.
Not even 2 full seasons.
I mean, that is such a disparity.
Yeah. I mean, well, see, but now they know about resting guys and taking guys in and out, so again, the sport has changed in order for these guys to, they know more about their bodies. They're able to, they want to protect their own investment. It's more of a business culture than it used to be. I mean, baseball, football, hockey, all that stuff used to be just a fun game that these guys played. And that's why you always hear about, old Bill Steve Steinei McNichols, he played for the love of the game and got, scored 7,000 points for a nickel a point, so that's the difference in all these sports now. So 28 Olympic gold not gold medals, but 28 Olympic medals is ridiculous. But it goes back to one of those things of, if another prolific swimmer or gymnastic that got, there's a lot of these medals are team medals. And so again, it seems pretty unrealistically, that anybody would ever be able to break it. But I would just say to that, 28 Olympic medals, Oh, okay. I was going to say 19 world gymnastics medals. I thought those were Olympic medals, but they're not just Olympic medals. So,
Yeah.
what do we got on going next?
Michael Phelps,
That was me. I just did
28
that.
Olympic medals. Those are straight up Olymp. Oh, you just that. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I just started. Yeah, just
Okay. Ricky Henderson, 1,406 career stolen bases. The active leader is D. Strange Gordon with 336. Bill James, baseball writer, has said that if you split Ricky Henderson in two, you have two Hall of Famers. And frankly, if you split him into fourths, you would still have four guys who have more stolen
the
bases than the
active
active
leader.
leader.
The active leader. Yeah. Ridiculous. Again, games change. The catchers are not going to let you, steal on them. There's, yeah. I mean, again, one of those that I agree with. Definitely unbreakable. Nobody's going to be doing it again like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. To put it into like terms, Jose Reyes stole 78 recently in 2007, which is, I believe, a record in a season. He would have to do that for 18 straight seasons to meet the record,
and I'm
which
guessing
is
he's probably not
insane.
gonna. Because you said he did it a
Yeah.
few years ago. Did he get 78 again? Is he on his way? He
I'm going to
is
say
not.
no.
He is not on his way. He's not even the active leader right now. And then to finish off their list, I have a an honorable mention I'm going to throw in. I think I always throw this in whenever we do big records.
Yeah.
The Yukon Huskies women's basketball 111 game winning streak. That is absurd. I don't think that is ever going to get beaten unless it is another dominant women's basketball team. But I mean, I still don't even see how that. I mean, it just seems
Yeah.
impossible. It just seems like I remember when it was happening. It was so crazy. It was like a president got shot the day it ended. Like everybody was talking about. They're like, "Did you hear? Oh my gosh!" Yeah. So what a ridiculous stat. But then also, I always throw this in, Bobby. Richard Petty's 200 NASCAR wins. There is nobody that's getting 200 NASCAR wins. To put it in perspective, a guy that I'm not familiar with, David Pearson, 105 right behind him. And then behind him is Jeff Gordon with 93. So the two active are Kyle Busch, who we've recently found out is not going to be racing full time this coming up year. I think it is health issues or something or another. And then Kevin Harvick has 60, and then Denny Hamlin has 48. So again, 200 NASCAR wins, never getting beat. I think that should be in the list that ESPN put out.
Yeah. Another one that as much as I don't like the sport, I think that it is a cruel sport. Is Secretariat's win of 31 lengths at in a Triple Crown race. The next best race is 25 lengths, which was done in 1943, but in 1973, that's when Secretariat did it. That is a huge margin of victory.
Yeah,
which is not going to happen because the science is different, the game, the sport's different. I mean, all of these horses now are juiced up beyond anything.
The bigger argument is that Toby Maguire isn't the jockey of the horse. You get Toby Maguire back, you'll win some races. I mean, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. But all right, let's move into our main topic of the day. We are doing way too early reactions, hot and cold, for teams starting out in the NHL this season. We're going to talk a little bit of hot teams. We're going to talk some cold teams. And we are 2 weeks into the season. So I think it's an appropriate time for us to overreact and kind of put our foot down on where we think some teams are going to land. I'm going to start us off with a hot team right now with the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They are currently sitting, if I can pull it up, I forgot to pull up the rank already, at 5-2. Not the best in the league as far as ranking, but compared to last season,
second best in the league.
This team's
behind
back.
Boston only.
Yeah,
Only
second
behind
best league.
Boston at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this team's back. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess because they have more games played. Because I was going to say Dallas is 4-1-1. But yeah, so
as far as points,
I
they
was
are
looking at
tied for
points.
the lead.
Yeah. I was looking at points. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, it's hard to think that they're not back. I mean, when you look at the history of this team, they have a good history. It's a small sample size, but more often than not, they're good.
Yeah. A team that looks really good. I think we've talked more about this team on the Fantasy Goons. Check that out if you're into fantasy hockey, folks. But we've talked about them a lot and just the pieces that they have that are working. I know I'm not going to tell him this on the show when we record later, but Riley Smith that night when he put him on his list, dropped him a goal, and then I think he got him in a helper the next game. Love the Vegas Golden Knights. I agree. I don't know that they'll be this hot all year, but this is definitely a team that is self-correcting from last year, where they arguably had one of their better rosters that they've had with the least success that they've had so far. So I think that, way early reaction to a team that's hot. I don't disagree with it at all, though. A team that I threw on here that you did not, I threw Detroit on here. Sitting right now at 3-0-2. A team that I'm not. I don't think that they're gonna drop off like they did last year. They took an unfortunate hit, Bertuzzi going to IR. But getting some good gameplay. I don't know that they're gonna be the 9th best team in the entire league all season. But I definitely foresee them making a much better push across the boards this year. So Detroit is a team that I'm probably having a little too early of a reaction to.
Yeah, I agree. The next up, I'm talking a little bit about the Dallas Stars coming to the Central, sitting at 4-1-1 with 9 points. This is with a +10 differential. They I think I think a little bit's luck. They played a very a team we'll talk about in the cold section, the Preds, and they put up a lot of points on them. And I think this team's looking good. I don't think this is going to be consistent. I think that they fall off a little bit here in a couple weeks, but man, they're starting off real hot. This is going to be a we could see, them and Colorado be the big dogs in the West.
Yeah, I just don't really see it. I just see this team falling off a bit. But I don't hate the pick. They are way hotter than they I feel they should be. So they definitely could deserve to be on this list. This next one you have on here, the Flyers, again, one that I just don't see. I just don't see how they can maintain. I don't. They just don't have that real star power. They have started 4-2-0, but dropped a couple late. They were 4-0, and then they're 4-1, and then they're 4-2. I'd say it's a team I don't, I know that I know you really want to win the bet, Bobby, but I just can't sell it in my mind that this is a playoff team.
I mean, I think at this point, they play more than just a playoff team. This is if we're putting our foot down and going with some hot takes, this is a team that could possibly put up a contention to maybe win a Stanley Cup. I mean, they are certainly in the running as far as being an NHL team. They meet the requirements to win a Stanley Cup.
We do have a Houston Astros Phillies World Series starting up. And every year a Philadelphia sports team has won a major major sporting event, we have had a recession. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't right now by either cheering on a recession with the Phillies or cheering for the cheating Astros. So we can just, I guess, all hope for an implosion, a friendly handshake, and we're going to call it a tie. We'll split the trophy in half type of deal.
We
I
need
don't think
Bane
the
to show
Flyers
up
are
and
going to
do his
get
thing.
Flyers ain't going to cause any recessions anytime soon in my book. So, you can try to will it.
But you know what? I don't need him to. I only need him to do better than Columbus.
Well, not better, because you guys stupidly did not just make it a better bet.
Go further.
You guys made it make it to the playoff. Go further in the playoffs thing. So none of you guys have made the playoffs since the bet's been made. So neither of you guys have gone further. But yeah, I think another team that is worth mentioning. Another team that is worth mentioning here is Buffalo. Started very strong at 4-1.
Yes.
A team that I feel has a better long-term opportunity than Philly. You can quote me here. I'm not gonna water bet on it or anything.
Another team that they are always there, so it's not nearly as much of a hot take, but a team that people thought were going to kind of recess a little bit and be bad is the Boston Bruins. They have shown that they are still the Bruins. This is still a perennially good team, and you shouldn't count them out. Everyone thought that they were going to go start a rebuild, but here they are.
This list is more
5-1.
Honestly, I think this list is more for our surprises. Rather than
I'm surprised Bruins are doing as good as they are.
Yeah, but you're not. It's one of those that you're surprised, but you're also not surprised. It's not crazy for them to be doing well like some of these other teams. Vegas is one of those that you could argue, but the Bruins have been a playoff team. I think that is. I agree. They're playing a lot better than we thought, but it's not surprising that they are. They are that kind of team that can.
Yeah. Time to move into the ice cold teams to start the season. This one hits a little close to home. The Nashville Predators are currently on a losing streak as of recording. They with 0-4-1. They
haven't won a game in America.
They can't win a game in America, in the continental U.S.
Or Canada.
Yeah, and they can't win a game in North America. They are looking really bad. It's hard to defend John Hines when the team is going this bad. I don't fall into the bullshit of fire Hines and all this will magically be better. That's not the case. But they look bad starting off. They look unmotivated. The scoring's not there. There is something to be said about last year's success that we had was because of last year's success. A lot of people, there's a point to be made that we had a couple players who played out of their minds, who played all like career seasons, and that's not consistent. And
I would argue.
Wrong.
It's not wrong, but I would argue that it was more because of the chemistry that they showed. The team had chemistry, and so when a team has good chemistry, as we've seen with great teams, your great players score well, right? Because the team has chemistry, and I think that's what we saw. We can laugh and joke. Oh, well, we beat the Sharks 2 times, so no big deal. The Sharks played a couple of good games against the Preds. The Sharks have won 2 games, and the Sharks have been able to win in North America. So it's not it's not impossible. But those 2 games, we had the chemistry was there. You felt that this team felt like they were together. The lines were meshing. And so obviously, when we got to watch a little bit of that Philly game before we went to that Halloween party. And I don't know how you felt, but I didn't feel that we were meshing well. I didn't feel like the chemistry was there. It just kind of looked like we were just getting moved along. Mark Borieski, I heard that he was moving and alert in the
Good.
ambulance going home. So
Good.
yeah,
Good. That's great to hear.
if it was bad news, I think that we would have probably had it in the news section. So but yeah,
Yeah.
man, I just don't feel like the chemistry's there. I don't think that all is lost or anything. It's not, it's not phone at home and, give it up, but something needs to be done. Most certainly.
Yeah. Now for a team that is so far and beyond cold, they have 7 straight losses. The Vancouver Canucks are just, I mean, what an absolute horrible, despicable series of unfortunate events for this Vancouver team. They just cannot catch a break. I mean, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what kind of changes have to be made, but there is never an excuse in this league to go 0-5-2. Something has to be changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough beat for them. But I mean, this is a team that a couple of years ago we were high on, and last year we thought, okay, well they can kind of step it up. Um, I mean, 2 points right now. It's not looking great. They are going to have a major turnaround. I mean, even the Coyotes have a win. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Is that the lowest of the low, the team that plays in front of 5,000 people has been able to win a game, and they've only played 5 games for goodness sake. So
Yeah.
what's up? It's hard to fathom because this team has some talent, has a talented goalie, talent, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, Bo Horvat, JT Miller. I mean, this is a guy that I took probably too early in a lot of my
Yeah.
leagues. JT Miller. I
A,
mean, he's actually played well for
a
me.
decent goalie. I mean,
It's not been bad for me having JT Miller. So I mean, he's getting his, but it's not translating into wins for the team. Team I have on here, the Minnesota
yeah.
Wild. This is a team that has started very poor. 1-3-1. A team that we talked about on the fantasy show. You weren't as high on them as maybe I was, but I don't think you were this low on them. I don't think you were thinking that they were
No.
a bad team. So we're wondering if it's just a bad early start to the season. I mean, they got a bad overtime loss, 7-6 to the Oilers. I mean, it's very early, so it's way overreaction, but definitely seems like it's going to be something that needs corrected. They have as many wins right now as the Arizona Coyotes. So um, they do have
Yeah.
one more point though. They do have one more point. They have 3 points. The Coyotes have 2 points. So
Yeah. I think the Wild is a team that will turn it around.
me
I
too. I
don't
mean, I don't think
think
this is. Yeah.
I don't. If I'm going off of their recent showing, I think that they have the ability to step it up. I don't think that they're a playoff team. I think I think them getting rid of Kevin
Okay.
Fiala hurt them. I think Kevin Fiala was a very integral part of that team. I like Kevin Fiala. I liked him in Nashville. I get why he had to be moved a couple times. But I liked him as a depth player, and I think they missed the playoff by a couple points. I think they step it up, but I don't think it's enough.
Okay.
To round us out, and this one I kind of had a question mark next to. Even though I'm looking at their schedule now, and I don't think it needs a question mark. I think it's a pretty solid. New York Islanders. They are sitting at currently last in the Metro with 4 points at 2-4. I mean, this is a team that last year we thought they would win the Stanley Cup, and we thought that maybe they would be a resemblance of what we thought they'd be last year, and so far it's just not great. I mean, they haven't had a great schedule. I mean,
They've been exactly like
they've
they were
lost the
last
Panthers
year.
twice and the Lightning. I mean,
They've been exactly like they were last year.
But I thought, I thought they would. I thought they would be more about how we thought they'd be last year.
Right.
And I mean, now listen, their losses. They have 2 good that they lost to the Panthers and the Lightning and the Devils, which is not a great loss, but I mean, their wins against the Sharks and the Ducks. I mean, their schedule is not great. I mean, having to go against the Panthers twice and the Lightning in a short period of time as 2 weeks is not. I mean, those are top teams in the league.
It's not insurmountable. But I don't feel I don't feel they had the advantage they had last year after starting 14 straight road games. Starting with 14 straight road games, the advantage that I felt that they had was in the coaching department. And I just don't feel that they have that like they did.
I agree.
So I'm interested. I think that this team is able to maybe even pull out one of those games against the Panthers with some different coaching. So, hey, maybe I'm just I just got maybe I'm just bitter that we had to host Barry Trotz in the coach house, man.
Yeah. Yep. So that takes us now. That finishes up our main topic of the day. Let's move into our games of the week.
Games of the week. Bobby and Brandon do the work, so you don't have to. The best from around the NHL and what to watch.
All right. For the first time in, well, maybe over a year, maybe, Brandon has a lead in games of the week. A score update. I am sitting at 5-5. Brandon at 6-4. It's a close one, but my man, you've got a lead for the first time in a while.
Well, I got us a gift before I go into the money record in which you were beating me by 4 cents last week. I got us a little gift. I was doing a little bit of some early Christmas shopping, and so when I was doing that early Christmas shopping, what did I find in McKay's? But this bad boy. Yeah. So we now have us games of the a week Stanley Cup, and it's starting this year, Bobby. So no, you don't get this for winning last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought it because
okay.
I wanted to have been able to keep it for at least a year if I don't win this year, which I will, and you'll get to stay in my house again. And so we got us a little Stanley Cup now, but the betting record, it goes to show you that I'm only one game up on you as far as record wise. We're pretty neck and neck there. But one bad week betting the juice can hurt you. So I think you're sitting at $8.84. You are down overall $1.16.
$1.16.
And then I am up $1.03. I'm at $11.03 total. So beating you there. I think we did discuss that if we wanted to bet puck line, we can at this point, but we have to indicate it. And if and it's got to be the main puck line. So if you pick a puck line and your team is actually not the favorite, and you may get some unfortunate juice of like some minus 235 type of stuff. So, but you will have to indicate that on the actual pick. We are deep into this, so you want to fly through your 5, and then I'll fly through my 5.
Oh yeah, for sure. Starting off with Winnipeg at LA. I am taking the Kings money puck line. Then I've got Anaheim at Vegas. I am taking Vegas money line. Then I've got on let's see, that's on Saturday at 1 p.m. I've got New York Rangers at Dallas. I'm gonna take the Rangers on this one.
You stole that money line, bro.
Yeah. Then on, I believe that's Sunday, I've got Columbus at New Jersey. There wasn't a lot to choose from. I don't really. This is a pick'em game. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the value at the away team, and I'm gonna take Columbus.
Nice. That's what I would have done.
Leading off Detroit at Buffalo. I don't know about this one. I think as much as I want to take the away team, because I think there's a little bit of value there, I think Buffalo is going to win it. So I'm taking Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't hate any of those picks. I think that it's funny now that we are going to be kind of picking try to pick games of the away team. I think we kind of talked about that before the show. Of that away team is where your value is going to get if you want to take up straight up money line. I'm going to go my 5 games. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. Panthers playing the Flyers, 6 p.m. on the 27th, Thursday. Got the Panthers being away team. Flyers have been hot, but I think I can get a little bit of value on the Panthers there. Pens playing the Canucks again, that away team. I am actually going to go ahead and take the puck line on the Pens, and I'm hoping that they are the favored team there on the away. I don't want to have to eat all of that plus 1.5 juice. Leafs playing the Kings, 6 p.m. on the 29th. I'm going to go with the Leafs, the away team there. Again, trying to get a little value on that bet. And the Wild playing the Blackhawks. It's in Chicago, 6 p.m. at 10:30. Chicago has not been as bad as we thought they would be. The Wild has been as bad as we think they could be. I'm going to go with the Wild, and I'm actually going to go with the puck line on the Wild as well. Try to, again, get a little value from my picks, and then capping it off with the Caps and the Hurricanes, 6 p.m. on the 31st, Monday, Halloween. I think my boy Aho steps up his game, gets his boys together, and they beat the Caps on the puck line. So, getting a little dangerous. I've got 3 puck line picks here this week. Really trying to push, put you on the ropes money wise. I think we agreed that we're still just picking winners, right? When we pick.
Yes.
The puck line's only the bet.
You can't go. You can't choose someone to cover. The plus.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm
saying
that it's still it's still 5 games straight up. Like if I don't win.
Puck line, the puck line has nothing to do with the record.
Games of the week.
If you don't win the puck line, you still win the. Yeah.
We still got to be picking the team we think that wins for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Well, good luck again this week, man.
Hell yeah, good luck, man.
You'll never get this. You'll never get this. La, la, la.
All right.
Pop culture too. We can skip them both and just put them on next week's.
Okay. Yeah, cool. We'll do that. All right. Let's jump into our what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right. So I recently finally started watching She-Hulk. After you pretty much forced me to, but I'm glad I did. It is very good. I am good. I am very happy I did. And what's not my stick is the constant. Obviously, I know that there was going to be internet trolls. Without a doubt, I knew it. It's a show that the main character is a woman. Of course, there's going to be hate online. That's how the internet works. What I don't get is the absolute hate for them breaking the fourth wall. I think we all need to sit back, and you said it perfectly. This is supposed to be a fun universe. Not everything has to be so serious like Moon Knight was, or like every single thing that has to do with Scarlet Witch. Sometimes we can just have fun. Yeah. Sometimes breaking the fourth, not everything has to be super. Oh, let's get deep into the continuity and the lore of the MCU.
Besides the fact,
hey, let's have fun.
Can I just even say, I love your thing when you texted me. But I would, how much I would bet rent money, fantasy money, betting money, whatever you want me to bet. I would bet that 98% of the people that hate the breaking of the fourth wall have some sort of t-shirt or something about Deadpool. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the same people that love Deadpool so much and probably were so happy that the next trailer came out. I mean, that's a guy that breaks the fourth wall. That's the point. It is fun. It's supposed to be fun.
His thing.
It is
and I don't know if
Okay. No, you're good. You're good.
These trolls like to always say, "Oh, they should have stuck to the comics." Well, guess what She-Hulk does in the comics, you assholes? She breaks the fourth wall many times in the comics. It's one of the things she does.
It's a comic
So let's they're keeping it comic book. And here's the thing: we've already gotten into the world of the multiverse. We don't know that and we've gotten into the world that there's a thing called the Watcher who can see into other universes. We don't know what they're going to say about how maybe She-Hulk can see, so thinks that she's can see the Watcher. Maybe from her point of view, she's actually talking to someone. We don't know. But the fact is, there is precedent set in the comics, and it's okay. And even if there wasn't, it would still be okay.
If you hate people, hate people talking to people that are not there, then did you even like Moon Knight? All right. I mean, my man talked to a bunch of people that were not there. No, really good point. I'm glad you're loving She-Hulk, because I did really, it's one of those that, you talk up so much that it has to land, or you're an idiot. So I'm glad you're loving it. Mine is a little more personal. At the party, at the Halloween party, there was a group of ladies and they were all butterflies. And I thought that they were super dope butterflies, and I wanted to be a part of their butterfly group. And and so I was, butterflying. I'm flapping the old wings and whatnot. And all of the ladies were wanting me to be a part of their butterfly group. But there is one lady in particular that was not having it. She did not think that I should be a part of the butterfly group. To where she is very upset about it. Stephanie has a video, and I was like, "Oh, what?" Because I'm a little drunk and I'm flapping, and I'm like, "Oh, what? You don't want me to be a part of your group, your butterfly group?" I'm very flustered at this lady. I can just remember, man, it was the oddest thing. For obviously, I don't want to steal your friends or something, lady, but it was like I was stealing her butterfly thunder. So I don't know if she listens to the podcast, but if you do, butterfly lady, what the F, bro? I was just trying to be part of your crew and just trying to enjoy ourselves. All right. So we're all just trying to hang out. Halloween heist happening, Bob. It's happening. Okay.
100%. But all right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. For Brandon, I'm Bobby. This has been Pucks Out Podcast. We will see you all again next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.